Alright, so today's just going to be a long, tedious day of grinding and cutting away a bunch of glass around the raised edge. So after taking the teak off, you can actually see where the sealant was after 48 years. Clearly it's not sealing anymore. When I pulled this up, it wasn't like the glue was doing anything. Just pulled the wood right off. So every single one of these holes is probably leaking a little bit of water past it. Okay, so I started chipping away at this and realized that that's going to take a long time. And on top of that, I'm going to have to actually access this whole cavity. So I've cut a little piece right here out of the top, kind of just an inspection area to see how the hull to deck joint actually works. I'm already committed, and the thing is, this is all rotten wood. What I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do is cut exactly like I have here. Cut this whole area open, scrape out all of this wood. We'll see what I come up with as we go. Well, more rotten wood. Very, very rotten wood. My guess here is kind of exactly what I was explaining before. So the hull comes up like this, and then there's actually a piece of wood glassed into this corner on the hull, and then the deck sits on top like this. And then that's glassed together or glued or however, and then there's screws that go through and hold into the wood that's glassed under the hull joint. This is where it kind of gets interesting because I'm completely deleting something structural and gonna have to rebuild it. If you look here, see this mark? So a bolt would go through into this part up top, pass through, and then you could put the nut on through this hole here, and that would help clamp the genoa track down. But it's a pain in the ass, and it creates like a spot for water to leak in if this isn't sealed correctly. So what I'm going to do now is, when I go to put this back together, instead of having anything like this, I have long bolts that are going to go straight through the this guy right down into the hull. I'm amazed that this hasn't broken by now. And the fact that it's held together is kind of just proven that this was strong enough. If there was no wood left, the teak just pulled out of itself. So if those screws had any wood that they were bonding to, I wouldn't have been able to pull the teak up by just prying it. I would have had to take the screws out. So clearly there isn't a single part of wood really inside here that isn't completely soft. This kind of was what I was expecting, so I've got a good game plan. Let's just get it done. Okay, so this is probably going to take me a day or two to grind off the whole top. maybe just most of today. Probably pretty boring content, so I'll get back once the whole top's ground out and I've cleaned out all of the rotted wood. Alright, so today I got the whole tow rail opened up and I'm pretty tired, but I'm going to try to put in a little bit more effort and start digging out a lot of this rotten-wood, and then tomorrow I'm going to get at sanding, grinding, smoothing out the surface and getting it ready to put some epoxy and glass on it. It's a new morning, time to keep digging at this. This whole area is so destroyed. I've cleared most of it, but it's all like this. Not much further to go. All right, so now I've got all of the rotted wood taken out for the most part, but now we're on to the next step. In order to get down inside there, I have to dig out all of this glass. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but it's a pain in the ass. All right, another new day. Today we're going to be grinding and prepping this whole area so that I can fill it with 2-part foam. This grinding is the worst part about this job. Creating all the dust. I do, even with the face mask, feel like I'm getting a little bit of dust in my lungs, which is not good. So I've got new filters. Then I'm gonna go shave. Not completely, but obviously this is not helping. I'm gonna have to run into town and buy some vacuum filters. They're obviously gonna clog up really fast doing all this, and if I don't vacuum after I'm done grinding, I'm just gonna track a ton of fiberglass dust into the boat. I'm gonna run to town, and when I'm back, I'll have filters.
We finished grinding, now we have to start sanding.
So in order to get the glass to adhere to the top of the toe rail here, I'm gonna have to bevel out and sand down the outer edge. I feel pretty tired today. I'm just gonna throw some music on and get to sanding.
Done. Let's go.
Okay, that's it for today. It's raining pretty hard, but luckily my tarps are working really well. My hair's soaked. Okay, new day, more sanding. Can't remember if I did the port side or the starboard side, but today there's going to be a lot more sanding. I'm going to start prepping everything to be able to potentially start laying some glass up. But I think that'll probably be tomorrow, if not the day after. But we're getting a lot closer. I'm excited. Things are actually starting to look pretty good. And today's just going to be Groundhog Day from yesterday. I'm just going to be doing more sanding. So now I've got all of this surface sanded quite well. Now I'm gonna have to take the hose pipes out and other hardware, including the whisker stay bracket. All right, 5 more to go. Okay, now the plan's to try to take this off without damaging it. None of these screws are wanting to come out. Hate flatheads. So I just took a screw out from the teak piece. I actually don't even think I talked about that, but I still can't take myself seriously in this suit. I had to break the teak, some of the more artistic teak on the boat, which was kind of depressing, but I couldn't get these screws out that I was trying to work at before. They're just like, the flatheads were just covered with crap. It was going to take me way too long, and I have an idea on how I can make it look okay. So I took that off and I just started unscrewing the screws with a pair of vice grips, and that started pouring water out of it. I figured I'd do a little voiceover here. So this was the only area in the entire boat that didn't have rotten wood. So I've had to use this, what are they called? Reciprocating saw. Then I have a plan for how I'm going to repair the hose pipes, which are those little holes you can see. But that'll have to be in next week's episode. I broke so many blades doing this. It was actually pretty funny. That's going to be the end of this episode, so thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot, and I'm excited to be posting videos again. So yeah, subscribe so you can follow along.
This sucks, but I'm gonna get it done.
Truth and